Hey guys, Seth here. In this video, I will be telling you how amazing Exusiai is. But before I spill all of Exusiai's beans, if you could hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. It really helps, and it's free for you. Alright, Exu is a great anti-air sniper with really good damage against low armored units. The fact that she's an anti-air sniper means that she hits aerial enemies first, as you can see by her traits. This means that sometimes she will ignore the enemies that are just about to pass her and not be able to be shot at by her, and instead go after some of the tankier aerial enemies. So this can be kind of a trap sometimes. Although normally it isn't a problem because Exu just kills everything in her range. So yeah, it's not too big of a deal. She has a small deployment cost, which means that you can deploy her as one of the first operators after you deploy your vanguards. And that means that she's just a fantastic unit to deploy to help your vanguards kill all of the enemies, especially in the early waves. She really also excels if there are enemies that are deployed out and sit on tiles, like Faust, for example, in 5-10, or other maps where there are just enemies that just sit out. She can melt them before they even start to move. Exusiai's first talent is Fast Cartridge. It gives her a small attack speed buff, which is kind of nice. Comment below if you think it's actually useful or she should get a new skill, because 12% attack speed isn't a huge amount. Her second skill is Angel's Blessing. It gives a small attack and HP buff, further cementing Exu as the best second unit to deploy. Especially, it does say random ally after she's deployed, but if there's only one other unit that you've deployed, like a Siege or a Myrtle for example, that means that unit will always get Angel's Blessing from Exusiai, which is really awesome at keeping your autos consistent, because that first unit deployed will always get that nice 6% attack buff and 10% HP buff. This is really helpful for some smaller, worse Vanguard units. Helps them keep the line, especially if Exu's one of the first units you E2, and you're not like me and you just E2 everything. Another really cool thing about Exusiai's Angel's Blessing skill is that if she's the first unit deployed like so, any other unit that I deploy after her will get that blessing. So if I deploy Silver Ash right here, he will show up with the blessing and get that ability. So even if even if you don't deploy Exu after another unit, she can still give that buff to another unit, which is just nice. The developers didn't really have to add that, and it's something that just makes Exu a little bit nicer. Now, getting into Exusiai's skills. Her first skill is okay, especially before you E1 her or anything, but outside of that it gets outshone by her second skill and third skill for sure. Her second skill is really good because you can choose when to apply her burst of damage. A really great example of this is Annihilation 3, which I'm not going to show because Annihilation is really long and I already did my runs this week. But around the wave 350 there's a whole bunch of the flying drones as well as the crushers, and you can use her skill 2 to burst down all of the drones and then swap her out with a unit like Ifrit to kill one of the crushers on the bottom lane, or you can also deploy a unit like Schwartz, which is how I have my Annihilation 3 set up. Her skill 3, in my opinion, is the best though, because with it, she just outputs an insane amount of damage, just all of the time. It has a really good uptime for a skill that just outputs so much damage, and again, especially if you have a support unit like Telopsis, her uptime is even higher. The best way, of course, to show off how awesome Exusai's third skill is in the LMD 5th stage, because using her third skill, she can just annihilate all of the enemies. And yes, you can see that I already deployed a Silver Ash here in my auto, but Silver Ash isn't really doing a whole lot of damage for those initial wave of the arts damage dealing melee units. A final note, Exusai really struggles against armored units. In my walkthrough of the entire storyline for Arknights, you can see that she struggles even on like the first or second chapter against just some random armored units, because lower level armored units, just because armor's really good against units that have fast attack speed like Exusai. So Aefiala or other arts casters are really good to pair with Exu, because they can kill those armored units a lot faster than Exusai can. Well, I hope that helped you, and I hope that you enjoy your Exusai and treat her well and properly, because she is an awesome unit. She carries you through so many stages and is just a fantastic unit that I deploy at basically every stage when I'm not trying to trust farm. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the battlefield.